Because yes, Floyd didn't have the punching power Gervonta had. But even if Gervonta lands, I don't see him hurting Jake to the point he knocks him out.
This shit, I'm like, yeah, okay.
Jake is probably up, man.
He's big.
Yeah.
Probably has 100 pounds on Gervonta.
Maybe. I'd say Gervonta probably walks at 150.
Oh, he's so small.
So small.
Jake Paul reacted with surprise after witnessing Gervonta Davis's terrifying monster-like training footage, but he remained calm, confident, and optimistic. Paul acknowledged Davis as a highly skilled fighter, yet expressed strong belief in his own preparation and mindset. He explained that positivity and self-belief have guided him through 5 years of relentless training and continuous improvement. Paul highlighted that despite countless sparring sessions, he has never been knocked out, a fact that fuels his confidence heading into this matchup. For him, stepping into the ring isn't only about skill, but about proving that mental discipline and belief set him apart. However, the biggest obstacle to a Davis-Paul showdown lies in their drastic weight difference. Davis has dominated the lighter divisions through speed and explosive power, while Jake Paul naturally fights around the cruiserweight range. Experts note that this gap is far greater than a few pounds. It's a gulf that makes the matchup nearly impossible. When weight differences become extreme, raw power, durability, and endurance begin to overshadow skill, leaving many to conclude that the fight remains more fantasy than feasible reality. Controversy added another twist when reports emerged that the state of Georgia refused to host GervontaDavis, prompting Jake Paul to shift his training camp and promotional focus to Miami. This incident illustrates how chaotic and unpredictable negotiations for high-profile exhibition bouts can be. State commissions often consider not just financial incentives, but also safety regulations and reputational risks before granting approval. For Davis, being rejected in Georgia highlights how his name still stirs both excitement and controversy. For Jake Paul, however, moving operations to Miami aligns perfectly with his flair for spectacle and headline-grabbing events. The relocation changes more than just venue logistics, reshapes the energy of the entire promotion. Miami, now a hub for celebrity-driven fight entertainment, ensures the event maintains global attention while revealing the fragile and volatile nature of modern boxing promotions.
There's no way in hell this fight was ever gonna happen. And the fact that y'all believed it, I don't know, you're stupid. So Rick Thompson, chairman of the Georgia Athletic Commission, told USA Today Sports that Paul's promotion company withdrew its request for permits and a rule waiver, citing the 65-pound weight difference between the fighters. The Rick Thompson guy straight up said they've been promoting something they should not have been. Come on, guys, like, use your brains. Y'all boxing fans, you understand this. This fight was never gonna happen. This is the article from USA Today. It says the status of the proposed fight between Jake Paul and GervontaDavis under scrutiny because of the weight discrepancy between the two fighters. Rick Thompson is coming out and saying this stuff because he said he believes it's in the public's best interest to know that they've been promoting something they should not have been. Communications director for the Office of the Secretary of State told USA Today Sports the event will not be happening. But funny enough, tickets are still available. You can still purchase them online. And the fight is still listed on the State Farm Arena event.
Former world champion Chris Algieri praised Jake Paul's influence on the sport, asserting that win or lose, Paul has reshaped modern boxing's marketing landscape. Algieri emphasized that Paul has managed to attract audiences who previously ignored the sport, transforming his fights into cross-promotional entertainment spectacles. Beyond the ring, Jake has succeeded in convincing legitimate fighters like GervontaDavis share the stage with him, blending elite athleticism with mainstream celebrity culture. This unique crossover has brought boxing into pop culture conversations, driving pay-per-view sales from audiences outside traditional fight circles. Algieri argued that this marketing genius should not be dismissed, simply because Paul lacks championship credentials. Instead, it demonstrates that boxing's future growth depends on figures willing to bridge the gap between pure sport and global entertainment.
JervontaDavis and Jake Paul both let everybody know that the location for their exhibition fight has changed from Atlanta to Florida. And let me tell you, it wasn't because Jake Paul just woke up in the morning and decided that he was going to change the venue. No, it was because of politics once again getting in the way of a JervontaDavis fight. The amount of times that local small politicians play around with JervontaDavis and JervontaDavis fight is at the point of being ridiculous right now. There's no way without coercion that this many venues, that JervontaDavis has this many problems with venues. But this time, it wasn't a problem with the venue, it was a problem with the state of Georgia. Now, before I get into it, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you're a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you so much. And thank you to everybody that supports in the super thanks of the videos like this. With a little $ by a comment. And thank you to my guy that did it yesterday with the big $5 holler. Thank you so much, man. I'll thank you directly in the video. But let's get to this because I'm sick of this, man. Every single solitary time, well, over the last 2 years, pretty much, and I'm saying this because I believe this to be true, pretty much since JervontaDavis started having an argument with Turkey Algieri.
Analysts remain divided when comparing JervontaDavis and Jake Paul. Critics argue that Davis is simply too small to make the matchup competitive and that the fight could only exist as an exhibition, rather than a sanctioned contest. Exhibitions, they say, lack genuine stakes and therefore struggle to sustain long-term fan engagement. Conversely, supporters believe Davis's speed timing and boxing IQ could neutralize Paul's size advantage. To them, the fight is less about weight and more about levels of skill. Davis has shared the ring with elite champions. While Paul's resume remains relatively limited, many envision Davis darting in and out, landing crisp, clean punches and making Paul appear inexperienced despite his physical strength.
Right, so what does Gervonta?
Whoa, hold on. I got to respond.
That's what I want.
I didn't even get to talk.
Please.
So, what has he done for the sport? I mean, manufactured or not, he went out there and he performed and he got knockouts and people tuned in. Boxing fans tuned in. And you talk about that shoe fight and that shoe, they're not boxing fans. JervontaDavis sold pay-per-views to boxing fans, and he got boxing fans to come to fights, which is so needed. Desperately needed.
They marketed him that way. You can market anybody. You can market it that way. You can market it that way. And champ, you should know better because you and I were very marketable and never got any marketing except as opponents for high-level fighters. And you should know that. They talk about great white hypes and all this other stuff. No, that's absolutely not true. They manufacture what they want to manufacture. Shakur Stevenson can be marketable. He's not ghetto enough. Andre Ward was very marketable. He's not ghetto enough. Why do black fighters only get marketed when they're quote-unquote ghetto, when there's class guys who you can market as great examples? Shakur Stevenson, Andre Ward, so on and so forth. Yeah, I'm going to say it. Yeah, I'm saying it. People complain because I'm too real, and I'm going to be honest. Why could Ray Leonard be manufactured as a... I don't even want to use the word manufactured because Ray Leonard actually was legit. Great fighter. But Ray Leonard promoted as the class guy, and it worked. Why could you do it back then, but now you can't do it? Andre Ward was gold medalist the same way, class, could speak, mature, poised, fight his ass off. Why didn't you market him the way you marketed Ray Leonard? What happened between 1976 and 2004? Why are you marketing Why are you marketing only Thug Life? Why? And I'm not saying, okay, I wasn't a part of this because I was a big fan of the hip-hop gangster rap generation and all this other stuff. But as a 44-year-old, you start to realize the concept of the entire scope of things. Why are you not marketing guys like Shakur Stevenson more? Why are you marketing this guy who doesn't want any of the smoke? Shakur has wanted all the smoke. This guy doesn't want any of the smoke.
MMA veteran and commentator Chael Sonnen weighed in, noting that Jake Paul caught the public off guard by pivoting toward JervontaDavis. Instead of the expected opponent, Anthony Taylor Sonnen pointed out that while Davis is a phenomenal fighter, he lacks the charisma and marketing instincts needed to sell major events. Jake Paul, in contrast, has built a career mastering both the fight game and the promotional spotlight. Sonnen's main point was that Davis brings authenticity through boxing talent, while Paul supplies the entertainment engine that drives public interest. Without that combination, Davis's credibility and Paul's media power, the event would not reach its current level of attention. It's a unique partnership. One fighter brings skill, the other spectacle.
I say any comment about it. My question is, what's the rules? And like, are they gonna actually try and knock each other out? Because this can be a glorified sparring match. I'm not watching. I don't give a fuck.
Jake's gonna have a hard time hitting him.
Yeah.
You know?
Gervonta's so fast and skilled.
Gervonta's gonna eat him.
I thought Jake was gonna fight Anthony Joshua. That seemed
No, that was actually getting.
That
sounded more
craziest idea I've ever heard. Jake Paul trying to fight Joshua is, crazy.
Not a sanctioned professional bout. This means the fight will not count towards either fighter's professional records.
So it's still being finalized.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like
So
that.
what is behind the scenes? You think there are things like, hey, we don't punch each other in the jaw?
Yep. Or don't go. We can punch in the face, but don't go for broke. Like, don't knock me out.
Really?
Exhibition.
That's not very.
No. Until I find the rule sets, but when I hear exhibition, I'm like, yeah, okay.
Jake is bodied up, man.
He's big.
Guy has 100 pounds on Gervonta.
Maybe. I'd say Gervonta probably walks at 150. So small. So small. I mean, he's really small. Bring up JakePaul next to Floyd Mayweather, because I've seen Floyd in person. He's tiny. You've seen Floyd in person.
I've worked with Gervonta.
Tiny.
Well, Floyd likely has shoes on there.
Oh, dude. So small.
Tiny.
And he's so small.
Several analysts argue that GervontaDavis's legendary knockout power at lightweight and super featherweight would not carry over against someone of Jake Paul's size. They contend that Paul's natural weight and larger frame grant him a level of durability Davis has never faced in smaller divisions. Davis's punches devastate opponents, but against a man who outweighs him by several classes, those same blows might not have the same effect. The logic is rooted in physics, size, and mass matter, while skill and speed can often overcome differences. There comes a threshold where physicality becomes a protective barrier. This scientific reality fuels skepticism about the matchup's competitiveness, reinforcing the idea that a Davis-Paul fight is more about entertainment than athletic parity.
It is the exact opposite of Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul for you. So the fight that was being dangled and rumored in front of us, the exact opposite is happening. The opposite of fighting Anthony Joshua is not fighting nobody. The opposite of fighting Anthony Joshua is fighting Tank Davis. So there's one big glaring issue for me. It's just your partner being Tank Davis. Tank is not the guy that knows how to sell a fight. Tank cannot sell a fight in his own division. It could be a title fight, a contender fight, a main event fight. He could be the favorite, he could be the underdog. Tank doesn't know how to bring that information to you guys in a way that is compelling. And Tank is already blinking in this situation. You have one guy who is argued amongst pound for pound current greats in boxing. You have another guy that has suggested he should not even be allowed to box, that he should have to call it something different. He should not be licensed. He should not be ranked in the top 14. He should never be selected for a world title. Okay. Now, Tank has one job, which is to let anybody know that's listening that it doesn't make any difference. That boxing is a real sport.
Critics of Jake Paul maintain that his boxing success is built not only on promotion but also on exploiting nostalgia and testing ethical boundaries. They argue that by drawing aging legends out of retirement with lucrative paydays, he blurs the line between sport and spectacle icons like Mike Tyson returning to the ring create massive buzz, but also raise concerns over safety and integrity when older fighters are tempted back into combat. They once left behind. The distinction between competition and exploitation becomes unclear. While Paul thrives in this gray area, critics warn that such spectacles risk transforming boxing into a circus act where money overshadows respect for legacy. For Paul, though, this controversy only strengthens his brand of fearless showmanship.
Gervonta fight makes no sense because yes, Floyd didn't have the punching power Gervonta had, but even if Gervonta lands, I don't see him hurting Jake to the point he knocks him out. So what are we even doing? Where's the idea of this gonna, where's the idea that Gervonta's even gonna hurt him? He may hurt him to the body, whatever. Jake doesn't want to throw as much, but I don't see him one punch knocking Jake out. And, the same thing was kind of said with Logan. Okay, Floyd probably won't knock him out, but probably going to outbox him. I get where Dana's coming from. These things are not meant to be competitive fights. They're meant to make money and to, I guess, scratch that itch of the circus mystery unknown.
And Gervonta, I think, hits way harder than fucking Floyd, but he's too small. I mean, brother's going to be able to, get inside on him, put his weight on him, tie him up. But I don't hate your brother. Your brother's out there doing his thing. But it cracks me up that they want to start suing people that are talking shit when your brother talks more shit than anybody talks.
I think the thought process behind it is, okay, so Jake and I are obviously pretty polarizing individuals. And when an echo chamber starts and a rumor mill starts of stage fight bullshit, which these fights aren't staged, that's at that level, it's almost impossible. I think they think that it affects business and it affects the brand because people discredit him as actually having legitimate bouts. I think that's the theory. So to hold people accountable for
legitimate
perpetuating the rumor.
Legitimate meaning not fixed.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah. And
which is, I mean, again, Dana would do the same thing if his company became known for doing fixed fights when they weren't. Then he would try to find the same way to hold people accountable if they were reputable people saying that, right? So again, the whole Jake suing people for blatantly trying to say he fixes fights or he stages fights or people have no knockout clauses and all the other bullshit, I understand. Now, again, people need to use their words more accurately if they're upset about what Jake is doing. All you have to do, if you're upset with the way Jake is moving in his career, is say what some people do say, which is, we like to see Jake challenge himself. We don't want to see these exhibitions, these fights that don't make sense for what you said you want to do or what you purport to want to be in the sport of boxing, which is a world champion. We want to see you fight active fighters around your skill level. That's it. But you can't go on there and go, oh, look, another rigged fight. Oh, look, another fake fight. Oh, look, he's staging another.
Former champion Shawn Porter defended JervontaDavis's rumored participation in an exhibition with Jake Paul, arguing that critics misunderstand the larger purpose. According to Porter, the matchup is less about establishing dominance and more about securing long-term financial stability for Davis and his family. Because exhibitions typically include safety measures and non-competitive clauses, the risks remain limited while entertainment value remains high. Porter stressed that fighters often have short careers and must take opportunities that ensure future security. From his perspective, Davis's decision isn't selling out, it's strategic self-preservation. It reflects the modern fighter's dilemma, balancing the pursuit of legacy with the need to safeguard their well-being beyond the ring.
Perpetuating the rumor.
Legitimate meaning not fixed.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah. And
which is, I mean, again, Dana would do the same thing if his company became known for doing fixed fights when they weren't. Then he would try to find the same way to hold people accountable if they were reputable people saying that, right? So again, the whole Jake suing people for blatantly trying to say he fixes fights or he stages fights or people have no knockout clauses and all the other bullshit, I understand. Now, again, people need to use their words more accurately if they're upset about what Jake is doing. All you have to do, if you're upset with the way Jake is moving in his career, is say what some people do say, which is, we like to see Jake challenge himself. We don't want to see these exhibitions, these fights that don't make sense for what you said you want to do or what you purport to want to be in the sport of boxing, which is a world champion. We want to see you fight active fighters around your skill level. That's it. But you can't go on there and go, oh, look, another rigged fight. Oh, look, another fake fight. Oh, look, he's staging another one. Right? That's the thing that's, again, false. So I get it. I get why they're upset, but I also get why people categorize it the way they do. You just got to be better with your words. That's it.
And not many of the fights are legitimate fights, but not being fixed. Hey, you hit me here and I hit you there.
Yeah, I mean that's Dana. Like,
I agree.
Like let's choreograph.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do if people are fucking saying stupid shit? People say dumb shit about me, my business, all the time.